Failure is inevitable. It's a fundamental part of life that each of us must face at some point. The moment you set out to achieve anything significant, failure will undoubtedly be lurking somewhere along the journey. It comes in different forms. Sometimes it's a rejection, a setback, a missed opportunity, or a mistake you deeply regret. Whatever shape it takes, failure has a way of shaking our confidence, making us question our worth, and making it difficult to move forward. But if you look closer, you will see that failure is never the end, it's a gateway to something greater. It's an essential ingredient in the recipe for success, growth, and transformation. The most successful people in history weren't strangers to failure. In fact, they often experienced it more frequently than others. The difference? They learned to rise above it. Failure is not an indication that you are incapable. It is not a sign that you are unworthy. It is not a reflection of your potential. Failure is merely an outcome, a temporary result of your efforts that didn't align with the success you were aiming for. But that's all it is, temporary. It doesn't define you. It doesn't control your future. And it certainly doesn't have the power to dictate what you can or cannot achieve. What really matters is not the failure itself, but how you respond to it. How do you get back up when life knocks you down? How do you rebuild your strength when your dreams seem shattered? How do you maintain hope when everything seems to be going wrong? The first step in rising above failure is to embrace it. Don't run away from failure. Don't try to hide it. And don't deny its existence. Face it head on. Acknowledge the role it plays in your journey. Too often, people fear failure so deeply that they avoid taking risks or pushing themselves beyond their comfort zones. They limit their potential because they don't want to deal with the discomfort of falling short. But here's the truth. Avoiding failure is avoiding growth. Every failure is an opportunity to learn, to evolve, and to become stronger. By facing failure, you open yourself up to the lessons it offers. Every failure contains a message, a lesson that, if learned, can propel you forward in ways you never imagined. Think about all the times in your life when things didn't go as planned. When you look back on those moments, you will often find that they led you to something better. They pushed you to develop new skills, to adopt new perspectives, or to discover strengths you didn't know you had. That's the power of failure. It forces you to adapt, to innovate, and to find new paths. But you can only access these lessons if you are willing to learn from them. Instead of seeing failure as a dead end, view it as a detour. Yes, it may temporarily slow you down, but it doesn't stop you. You can always find a way to navigate around it and keep moving toward your destination. That's what rising above failure truly means. It's about resilience, about finding the strength to keep going even when things don't go as planned. It's about realizing that no matter how many times you fall, you always have the power to stand back up. Rising above failure also means letting go of perfectionism. Too often, we hold ourselves to impossible standards, expecting every step we take to be flawless. But life doesn't work that way. No one is perfect, and perfection is not a requirement for success. In fact, perfectionism often stands in the way of progress. It makes you afraid to try new things, to take risks, or to challenge yourself. It creates a mindset where failure becomes unbearable, and as a result, you become stuck. You must let go of the idea that success means never making mistakes. Instead, success is about learning from your mistakes and continuing to move forward despite them. Another crucial aspect of rising above failure is shifting your mindset. How you view failure matters more than the failure itself. If you see failure as a personal shortcoming, as proof that you're not good enough, then it will crush your spirit. But if you see failure as feedback, as information that can help you improve, then it becomes a tool for growth. You must train your mind to see failure not as an obstacle, but as an opportunity. Instead of asking, "Why did this happen to me?" ask, "What can I learn from this?" Instead of saying, "I'm not good enough," say, "I'll get better next time." Your mindset determines your ability to rise above failure. Remember that failure is not final. It may feel overwhelming in the moment, but it's never the end of the story. Every setback you face is part of a larger narrative, a narrative that you have the power to shape. You are the author of your own life, and failure is just one chapter in that story. You decide how the next chapter unfolds. Will you let failure define you, or will you use it as fuel to propel yourself toward even greater heights? Another key to rising above failure is persistence. It's easy to feel discouraged after a failure, to think that maybe you should give up. But true success requires persistence. It requires continuing to show up, to keep trying, and to keep believing in yourself even when things aren't going your way. Persistence is the bridge between failure and success. The more you persist, the more you learn, and the more likely you are to eventually succeed. Every failure brings you one step closer to success, but only if you don't give up. Persistence also means having the courage to try again. It means not being afraid to fail again, knowing that each failure is a stepping stone towards success. It's important to understand that failure is not the opposite of success. It's a part of it. Many people give up just before they're about to break through because they see failure as a reason to stop. But the most successful people in the world are those who kept going even when failure was all they could see. Finally, rising above failure requires self-compassion. Too often, we are our own harshest critics. When we fail, we beat ourselves up, we dwell on our mistakes, and we allow negative self-talk to take over. But self-compassion is essential for resilience. You must learn to be kind to yourself, especially in moments of failure. Remind yourself that failure doesn't make you less valuable, less capable, or less deserving of success. You are still worthy of your dreams, no matter how many times you fall short. Rising above failure is about more than just bouncing back. It's about transforming failure into a source of strength. It's about learning to see failure as an integral part of your journey towards success. It's about embracing the setbacks, the disappointments, and the challenges as opportunities for growth. It's about refusing to let failure define you, and instead allowing it to refine you. Failure is not something to be feared or avoided. It's something to be faced, embraced, and ultimately overcome.